Imagine you're in a crowded subway on your way to work. It is 9 a.m. and you are already running late. To numb the anxiety, you scroll through your phone and turn up the music. A man nearby is berating a woman because her child is crying. You would like to intervene, and deep down you know you probably should. But you're exhausted, so you slide the earbud back in and look away. You get off the train, climb the stairs, and answer a phone call. We learn that the job you're heading to is only part-time.
今どこ？
これから今日の派遣先。
Keep that in mind because it will change how we interpret the final twist of the movie. Eventually you turn toward exit 8. There is a long corridor ahead. It is strangely deserted, except for a lone man walking toward you. You register it, but don't think much of it. And you keep going. You walk, and gradually the weirdness becomes impossible to ignore. Where is everyone? And where is the exit? Haven't you seen this corridor before? And that man? By the third pass you realize you're trapped. You're stuck in a loop. A corridor that repeats itself endlessly, with no way out. The man was already unsettling, with his stiff gait and fixed stare, but now he's decided to make it worse. And this is where I need to give a spoiler warning for the movie Exit 8, because from this point on I'll be discussing major spoilers, including the ending. Throughout the course of the movie, you figure out the rules to get out. If you spot an anomaly, you must turn back, and if there is no anomaly, then you complete the loop. If you are correct, the exit number increases, but if you're wrong, it resets to 0. And the objective is simple. Identify the pattern correctly 8 times in a row, so you can finally reach exit 8. Over the course of the movie, there are some scares, times when it feels like you'll never escape, and several deeply unsettling encounters. But eventually, at the end of the movie, you succeed and reach exit 8. Naturally, you expect the stairs to lead up, but instead they go down. Still, at least you're leaving the nightmare behind, so you descend, you walk, and you return to the subway, which is still crowded. A man is berating a woman because her child is crying. You'd like to help, you know you should, but you're too tired to... Wait, it's a loop. You never actually escaped. The nightmare didn't end, and the movie cuts to black. So, as the audience, at first you might think, well, that's a little underwhelming. The idea of a protagonist trapped in a maze or a dream who thinks he's escaped only for the ending to suggest otherwise. Well, we've seen that before, many times. And yes, Exit 8 uses that familiar twist, but it does something surprisingly fresh with it. Because the point is not whether he actually escaped the loop or whether he's trapped forever. The point is that the protagonist is going through something many of us experience every day. That feeling of finishing a day at work, going home, blinking, and suddenly finding yourself back in the subway the next morning, on your way to work again. That is how a lot of us experience life. That's the grind.
毎日ぎゅうぎゅう詰めの電車乗って会社行って同じこと繰り返してそっちの方が地獄みたいでかわいそう
She is very creepy, but she has a point. The grind is a strange kind of hell. It's doing the same thing over and over until you hate it so much that you start thinking, if there is a hell, well, maybe it looks like this. As if the cruelest kind of hell wouldn't be fire, but it would be this. Trapped in the subway, going to your part-time job, repeating the same motions every day. Nothing good ever happens. The only thing you can hope for is that there is no terrifying anomaly and just boredom. But eventually, the grind wears you down so much that you almost start hoping for anomalies. Because at some point, nothing can be worse than doing the same exact thing again. So the ending of Exit 8 is not a cop-out. It's not that the writers couldn't decide whether the protagonist escaped. It is something much harsher. The movie becomes a snapshot of his life, spent in the subway and at his part-time job. The corridor was the job. He learned the rules, he performed correctly, and that only allowed him to escape for the day. But the grind is relentless, and as soon as one day ends, another begins. And the fact that it's a part-time job makes it even bleaker, because there is no grand career arc waiting for him. No meaningful promotion, no payoff. He's doing it for a paycheck. He's disposable and replaceable, just a cog in the system. And now the baby is crying again. And in a conventional movie, that is where the character would show growth. Because what typically happens when the character shows weakness at the beginning is that during the story he would learn courage, and at the end he would prove that he has changed by standing up for the woman. But in Exit 8 he doesn't. The grind didn't teach him anything, it didn't make him braver. And as the new day begins, he is not a better man, he's just the same but more tired. And he probably thinks, if there is a hell, I really hope that at least it doesn't look like this. Nothing could be worse than living through this day again. And yet there he is, in the subway, about to live it again. Now there are many other layers to the movie as well, so even though I've spoiled the ending, I still recommend watching it. And I should also say that this is only my interpretation, and I haven't seen it explicitly confirmed anywhere, so it's possible that I am completely off about the writer's intentions. And in fact, some of the film's more explicit metaphors deal with paternity and guilt. So I encourage you to watch it and form your own reading. Or play the original video game, which seems to have solid reviews.